Welcome to this week's episode of Movie in a Pod. I am Clyde Smith.
And I am Javier Villalobos.
On this week's episode, we are discussing the trailers for Reminiscent, Last Night in Soho, and our movie of the week, Spiral. JV, how was your weekend, sir?
Not too bad, man. A little wet outside, and it was hot at the same time. It was not fun.
Welcome to the greatest state in the union, North Carolina, ladies and gentlemen, where it can be 92 and hot at the same time. And it's like rainy, just a horrible mix of just nastiness. You know, I actually was going to come home today and cut the grass. Nope. All right. Got some new trailers that dropped. This Hugh Jackman vehicle from Lisa Joy, who is the creative director, showrunner, and all that good stuff for Westworld. Reminiscent. What do you think about this one?
Actually looks like a pretty good flick. Seems like they're a coastal city, I don't know where, is being flooded. Right?
Waterworld. Kevin Costner.
The water's taking over the coast. We got Hugh Jackman can apparently go into people's minds and go into their memories or bring their memories back to them a little more vivid. Not 100% sure how that works. He gets mixed up with the particular woman, sees her memories or whatever, and then is out to find her.
Yeah.
And is just like fighting people for no reason.
Yeah, this is if this is going to be anything like Westworld, it's going to be really high concept. Lisa Joy is married to Jonathan Nolan, whose brother is Christopher Nolan. So, think anything Christopher Nolan has ever done is just high concept. Inception, Interstellar, Tenet. It's just these crazy concepts they put in movies. So,
yeah, this seems no different.
No different than that. That's what that family does, right? But the trailer throws a lot at us. Not really sure how he kind of gets to where he's going, but that's what the whole point of a trailer, just to kind of get you hooked. It looks fun, looks different. It has the amazing, talented Rebecca Ferguson as the woman that he's looking for and trying to find. So we'll definitely see what's going on with that. It's going to be an HBO Max drop.
It looks like he's gets into their memories. Kind of looks like to me, which seems kind of weird.
He's now Professor X is what it is.
I mean, it's a rebro. Yeah,
it's what's
got going on.
It's a reboot of X-Men. Sorry, Disney. HBO got it now.
Yeah, they're just going to take all the superheroes and just change them just enough.
Oh, yeah. And then we have from Edgar Wright, Last Night in Soho. Talk to me, JV.
Yeah, this one was pretty weird.
Oh, yeah.
Very weird trailer. Seems like the concept is, and I'm not sure if she is seeing another time or if she's actually like in another time, in another body. Not quite sure how that works from this trailer. But basically, whoever she's seeing in like her dreams or whatever's going on is trying to get killed by ghosts. There's like ghosts stalking her.
Yeah, it's kind of wild, man. They got this one girl who kind of moves to Soho, which is a part of New York, and then there is, I don't know what she's in maybe fashion or something.
Right.
But anytime she looks in a mirror, we as the audience who's watching the trailer sees Anya Taylor-Joy.
Right.
So it's, two different women, and then she kind of gets kicked back into, I don't know, Thunderball came out in like the late 60s, I believe. So she, we see that in theaters with the 007 movie. So there's a lot going on. And you think it's like, okay, this is cool. She's back in time. She'll fall in love. And then it just gets weirder and weirder as the trailer progresses.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets a little scary. Something different for Edgar Wright. I mean, he did do Shaun of the Dead, which was fabulous. At World's End, Hot Fuzz, Baby Driver. I've seen literally all of his movies, which are fantastic.
Oh yeah.
This is different for him though. He usually does like comedy, with Simon Pegg and the boys, but this is totally different, man. So
Yeah,
how
nothing funny about this one.
how he
It's nothing funny.
delivers is going to be the interesting piece. Like, can he do that? You know what I mean? Because even Baby Driver, I don't know if you saw that. That was pretty funny.
Mm.
Really good cast, really good characters, but also really funny because it got that Edgar Wright spin on it. This doesn't show me any of that, so I don't know.
Same.
We're about to talk about a horror movie with Chris Rock, so like.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a movie that you would see in theaters last night in Soho?
Yeah, I go check it out.
All right. Well, let's put it on the Regal card.
I mean, after this one, the sky's the limit, right?
After Spiral, the sky is the limit. We were in the theater for this, so. Spiral came out this year, 2021. Me and Javi was actually in the theaters for Sunday afternoon movie to see this.
Yeah,
at
crazy.
our local Starlight Cinema. What's up, Charlotte, NC? This movie was directed by Darren Lynn Bousman, written by Josh Stolberg and Pete Goldfinger.
This one had a budget of $20 million, and so far box office has hit $30.5 million.
Come on.
She's climbing. Starred in this one, we had Chris Rock as Detective Ezekiel, or Zeke Banks, Max Minghella as Detective William Shank, Marisol Nichols as Captain Angie Garza, and Samuel L. Jackson as Marcus Banks. There's quite a large cast on this one as well, but that's kind of our main focus people there.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there, sir. All right, man. Just like you do so eloquently every Monday, give us a quick synopsis of what this movie is about, sir.
Basically, we have a copycat jigsaw killer. His plan is to get revenge on dirty cops for crimes committed and then covered up by the police from years ago.
Like I said, we saw this in the theaters yesterday. If you're a fan of these Saw movies, you're definitely in the theater for them. If not, pretty easy to watch on your 70-inch television at the crib. So, all right. So let's go ahead and talk about these characters here and their acting and if they were fleshed out and stuff. But our star, our main protagonist here, Chris Rock as Detective Ezekiel Zeke Banks.
You know, we know Chris Rock is a very funny guy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel real good about him playing a detective. He was kind of, to me, and I guess it's just that Chris Rock image of this guy's supposed to be funny. And when he was trying to play a detective, I didn't feel like it was that great for him.
Yeah.
Not saying the character wasn't good of Ezekiel, but Chris Rock just doesn't give me a detective vibe. Like there's certain actors that play detectives all the time, and it's because when you see them, that's what you feel.
Yeah.
He didn't do a terrible job in the role by any means. The role was still good, but it was just hard to see him, man, as a detective. It just didn't feel right.
So I actually really liked Chris Rock in this role. What he does is something, like you said, something totally different than he's ever done before. He's never been in a horror movie.
Right.
He's never played like a hard-boiled cop. Now, those are the two things that he's never done. Mm-hmm. But everything else, you know, the little bit of action that was in this movie, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. He's not really done that much either. But as far as the dramatic points in this movie, he's done that. As far as, I mean, he basically had a whole stand-up monologue the first like 10 minutes of the movie, right? Like
yeah.
About Forrest Gump, right? So
yeah, that was good.
That's him on stage right there.
But that's what I'm saying. That was funny.
Yeah.
You know, that was comedy, and he landed that story, and that was good. Like I said, just felt like maybe he was trying to go so hard in this role. It kind of was, to me, a little off-putting for his character, or for him, and trying to see him as a hard, a hard-ass detective. It was really hard for me to do that.
And it's a tough turn.
Yeah.
And some actors have that easy ability to go in and out of roles. We'll just take Chris Hemsworth, for example. Chris Hemsworth, you can put him in an action movie.
Yeah.
Like that one that's on Netflix. It definitely escapes me, but it's literally like 3 hours of him just shooting people.
Extraction.
And it's a fabulous thing. He plays that well. But also, he was in the road trip movie. Crap, it just released Vacation, the updated movie Vacation, and his role in that was just hilarious. Or he was in the Ghostbusters remake, and his role in that was fantastic. He can do comedy, action, and you can't, he just does it and slips in and out very easily. Chris Rock, this is his first time really trying to do this, so it's tough to even see.
Yeah.
But I feel like he definitely gave it his all. I think without him,
if
it was anybody else in this role, this movie wouldn't be as good as it was. He punches up the script a little bit with his ad libs and stuff like that, and his funny parts, and just kind of the drama that he kind of brings, and he makes it better. Just him, and once again. That's why there's two hosts to this pod. You have your opinion. We're not always going to agree, right?
What I saw wasn't like bad acting by any means. I think it was more of he's trying to push himself to be good in this role.
Yeah.
And I feel like he was pushing hard.
Yeah.
The way he was trying to be so tough and just mad. I feel like he was pushing that a little too much at times. And that's kind of why I'm saying, you got some actors that can play a detective and know that personality and walk that line, and he may just not be right there yet.
Yeah,
that's where I felt.
Yeah,
not saying he did a bad job. I mean, he was still a great character.
Oh yeah, 100% there. And I did like that he basically told everybody in the bullpen to go F themselves. Like, that was
great.
That was his mantra every day in there, right? Like, I hate you all. I don't trust any of you. You all can go F yourself. Like, that was just. That was money every time, and delivered those lines on point.
Yeah, and his story got laid out very well.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like super fleshed out. You understood what kind of cop he was and what he was about.
Yeah.
And obviously the tried and true thing. He just went through a divorce, can't see his kid. That's the easy layup cop lines, you know what I mean? That always happens. You put the badge before your family. That's in there. That's weak writing.
Yeah.
I think the way that he delivers that information anyway is still just spot on and good. So
he lets you know how he feels the whole movie.
Oh yeah.
About everything. How he feels about marriage, how he feels about being a cop, how he feels about all the other cops.
Oh, he definitely delivers here. So, and then we have the young rook Max Minghella. Not sure if he's a rookie or not, but he's definitely young. This is a tried and true formula that goes one of two ways, right? He is new to this precinct, new to this bullpen. He's getting matched up with the guy who can't deal or doesn't want a partner. It's just these old and true writing techniques that we've just seen over and over again for decades.
It's kind of the basic older cop story.
Yeah.
You got a grumpy cop and you got a fresh cop. It's almost a buddy comedy, but not funny.
Yeah. They're supposed to play well off each other and they don't, right? Like
I don't know.
Yeah. But this can go one of two ways when you bring in this character, Detective William Shank. He's either, has a mysterious motives, or he's a greedy, that gets hurt and killed in the movie. You know what I mean? But that's that lazy writing that I'm talking about there.
Yeah.
The cool thing about this, you don't know really how it's gonna go, and there's some twists and turns even with his storyline, which is interesting to watch. But yeah, he didn't kill the role like Chris Rock did in this for me, but he was still not refreshing to watch, but it was just an interesting take on that new young partner role.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely didn't have the normal bright eyes you get from like a rookie or a new guy coming in like that.
Yeah. Yeah. What about the man, the myth, the living legend, Samuel L. Mother Flipping Jackson?
He just knows how to play a role.
Yeah.
He knows how to just be there, how to drop his lines, when to drop his lines, how to say his lines, and it just works. I mean, he didn't do a whole lot in this movie
Agreed.
as far as dialogue. I mean, he did some talking back and forth, but he's kind of in there, then he falls out for a while, then he comes back in later on in the movie. He just fills in the spot and he's just there and it works all the time.
Yeah, man. There's certain actors and they have this gravitas about them where they can almost play any role on the planet,
Yeah.
and do it quite well. Samuel L. Jackson is one of those actors where he is so talented and such a method actor without trying.
He knows where the dial is in each spot for Samuel L. Jackson when he's when he's in a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
That scale from 1 to 10 of how much Samuel L. Jackson's going to be in this movie.
Yeah.
It's what I feel like how he chooses his roles.
Snakes on a plane, 1 to 10. I need a 15 for that.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. right.
This movie, he was probably at like a 3, 3.5, 4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's my scale for that. That's the new scale for Samuel L. Jackson going forward. How much Samuel L. Jackson was in this movie?
But once again, like with him, it's just fun to watch him on screen in any movie. And this one, he definitely delivered in every time he was on scene. But playing Zeke's no nonsense retired father, retired head of the force, you kind of get a sense that he's kind of an asshole dad who's not really there for his son, but loves him nonetheless.
Yeah, and I think it's that cop career, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Same deal. Working for the job. You're not always there for the kid. You're always working, that kind of thing. Same situation as Zeke, basically.
True.
The only thing I didn't like was the end scene with Samuel L. Jackson. He doesn't play well. I don't think he played well in that scene.
It was definitely tough to watch.
Yeah.
Samuel L. being one of my favorite actors, for the past, 20 years, 20, 30 years now, seeing there, it's like, oh man, one of your heroes, you know what I mean? It's like seeing Will Smith at the end of Seven, the same exact thing, man. That's just disheartening. It definitely hurts, but
yeah, and that's got to be tough to be in that kind of a situation on a movie set and trying to portray something like that you've never been through, right?
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. I don't think he has.
I mean, a guy, if you're an actor, you can portray the emotions, you can do all this kind of stuff because it's probably stuff you've been through in your life. But, in that situation that he ends up in, that's got to be tough to just try to pull that off. And I think that's what I saw with them was like, he's trying to play that situation and just wasn't terrible by any means. It just was weird.
Yeah, it's just different.
It's just kind of weird to see him try to play that off when you're used to just seeing him be himself. And that's one of the things I was thinking about with these movies. The previous Saw movies have all been kind of not necessarily B-list actors, but it's not really people you see, right?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the cast you see and you're like, okay, this dude is whoever he is. He's in this movie. He's the detective. He's a victim. But this one, we see these big stars.
Yeah.
That are going through this stuff, and it's just different for me. It's harder to see and believe it when I know these guys and they're not just some people I've never heard of before.
Yeah, so the first Saw movie had the dude from Men in Tights, Cary Ells, I can't pronounce his name, but he was the only one that I didn't really know the other guy. You had Donnie Wahlberg in the sequel, but outside of that, they use BC actors and actresses. They might get like somebody who was once popular who's now not in these movies, but that's kind of the Saw franchise and how they do. Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson going through this. Those are some heavy hitters, man. These guys have been around and they make money and they're very popular to this day. So just seeing that is very different and refreshing for this franchise. Even though this is a spinoff, but still in the same universe as Saw, so it was so refreshing to see these actors, in this role. So moving forward, We also have Captain Angie Garza, played by Marissa Nichols. Women captain, bro.
Yep.
She's got to be a hard ass. Day one.
Oh yeah, right off the bat.
Right? And she will cuss and get loud in the bullpen with the best of them, man.
When she goes into the restroom.
Yeah.
Zip up and get out.
My man just zips up and walks out. Chris Rock's character's like, you're not even going to wash your hands? Like, oh, man.
Yeah, that's the bit of comedy that's in it, is just the quick kind of one-liner funny bits.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as the captain, she did a good job of being a hard ass and still caring for everybody on the police force.
I literally wrote that exact line. Yep.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
So far, that's the only one we've agreed on. Yeah, so she plays a big role dating back to when Samuel L. Jackson Marcus Banks was in charge. She took over for him, right? She's intertwined with this whole storyline as well.
Mm-hmm. What I liked about her was, like you said, she is this hard ass. She's a badass, but there's this, like you said, there's this soft side about her, but you wouldn't want to cross her. You know what I mean? Like you would want to work for this woman, and you kind of see that she has the gravitas, that she controls the bullpen.
Oh, yeah.
And that is just, once again, fun to watch in this type of movie, right? And they brought in Samuel L. That they brought in Chris Rock for this, and then the star power just drops, right? I think Max Minghella, he's an okay actor and somewhat known.
Yeah, I was about to say he's somewhat known. He's not necessarily an A-list actor, but he's been doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So, with that being said, it drops off. But I think the cast of characters outside of those two and then three, they do a pretty solid job. There's like O'Brien. There's your normal cops in a bullpen.
Yeah.
And they're a bunch of assholes. Some are good cops. You can tell some are bad cops. But, a lot of them just want to get the job done and kind of catch this. Not kind of. They do want to catch this cop killer.
And none of them like Zeke.
Oh, everybody hates Zeke. Right, yeah. which is we have another one of these movies where it's not funny, but because Chris Rock is there, they're just funny parts, right?
Right.
Him literally telling everybody to go F themselves in the bullpen, fabulous, right? Him turning and yelling at everybody is fabulous. Him talking what Pilates actually means to a cop's wife. Hilarious, man, right? And these are the moments that were just great in the movie that I thoroughly enjoyed. So
right.
I think the comedy, when it needed to be there because Chris Rock was aboard, was there.
Oh, yeah.
So, Hav, we talked about MacGuffins during our Be Cool pod, and then I went back and thought about all the famous MacGuffins in movie history. There's actually been a bunch throughout the history of cinema. So we have R2-D2, that droid who has that important message that they have to get to the rebels. And then there's that Ark from Raiders of the Lost Ark that the Nazis are after. And then there's that damn videotape and Enemy of the State that none of our listeners wanted to listen to, right?
Yeah.
Literally one of my favorite pods that we've done. I love the movie and nobody wanted to listen to it. Guys, is that my blender? Go listen to it, okay? It's fantastic. So we have Back to the Future, which is a fantastic flick, right?
Yes, sir.
There's a hot button topic for a bunch of moviegoers and movie buffs about what is the MacGuffin of that movie. Is it that DeLorean time machine? Or was it that picture that he had with his family fading away? Now, before you answer, Javi, about what your take is, there's absolutely no wrong answers here. People see it from both sides.
Right. And I see it as the picture.
Okay.
The DeLorean to me is more of a character in the movie. But the family fading in the picture is what keeps him doing what he's trying to do to get it all right.
Yeah. Agreed, man.
And we want to know what our listeners' favorite MacGuffins are and why.
Yeah, so connect with us through our socials. It helps us grow our pod so we continue to provide great content. You all know our social pages by now. Movie in a Pod on Facebook and at Movie in a Pod on Twitter and Instagram.
And don't forget to like, share, and comment on all our content.
Talk to you all soon. This is a Saw movie. This is from the Book of Saw, excuse me. This is not really an action flick, cop detective. It tried, but it kind of fell back into that torture, horror genre. And I actually wrote down my name for all of the traps.
Okay.
Yeah, it's disgusting, by the way. I don't know who the hell's idea was it to see this movie, but
so you said you have a name for each trap.
Every trap in here.
All right. So what was the first one? That was the tongue one.
The tongue trap.
Yeah.
That's what I called it. Horrible with names, bro.
Very, very on the nose.
Oh yeah.
Or on the tongue. I don't know how
you The next one is the electric finger trap. Right?
Accurate, yeah.
Right. Hot wax spinal tap trap is the next one.
I like that one.
Yes, right. This one's super boring. It's the original Saw trap. Remember that one?
Oh yeah, where you just handcuffed to the shit, right?
Mm-hmm. And then we have the glass bottle trap.
Right.
And this one, you'll probably get it, understand. It's the bloodline trap.
That was good.
I know, right?
I like that. That was the best one.
Yo, man. Right? The draw in these movies, right, are people who like to see this shit happen to people.
Right.
I'm not really one of these people. One of those people. You know what I mean? I don't really like torture, horror type genre movie. I knew this was going to happen. What drew me into this movie was seeing Chris Rock in this role.
These horror movies or gore movies, there's different levels. This is more of a quote unquote mainstream horror gore movie.
Yeah.
Then you got a lot of other movies that go way beyond this mess.
Oh yeah, it was still ridiculously
disgusting.
Disgusting.
It was really gross.
Every yeah. So the movie itself, man, talk to me like the plot and everything. It's basically like a cop procedural is what it's trying to be.
And it follows the same kind of formula as the other ones. It's tweaked a little bit because it's not like on the path of the Jigsaw killer himself.
Yeah.
Right. It's a copycat, but it has nothing to do with him from the other movies at all, other than him copying some traps. But the plot, was what it was. It's always about revenge, right?
Yeah.
It's always about trying to prove a point at the end of it. I mean, the plot makes sense, is what I'm saying, but it's the same kind of formula as the other ones.
Yeah, it is the same formula. I feel like they were trying to do something new and refreshing and kind of reverted back to what made Saw so popular to begin with. Right? Yeah. They want to take you on this cop on this roller coaster through the city in, the dead of heat July and kind of go through these murders and everything.
Yeah.
In a normal like cop detective movie type thing, the cop is finding clues, right? The cop is going from clue to clue and like getting closer and closer to who the killer is. This movie is not like that at all. This movie's more a killing happened, a trap happened and somebody died and there's a call and there's Banks on the scene and it happens again and then it happens again and then it happens again. But there's no like breadcrumbs going, let me get closer and closer and closer to this, which is what I was looking for in this movie, and I did not get that. So it's almost lazy writing, right? I use that term a lot, where it's lazy writing. Where okay, you have a detective, let him detect some shit.
Yeah,
he gets dropped. All the clues that he gets dropped off in his hands.
that's what I was about to say. He didn't detect anything. Like you said, there were no breadcrumbs like to follow to the next situation. It was here you go, and then it just takes him to right where he needs to be. Yeah.
And it's not like he's these boxes that get dropped off is him trying to save the next person. It's the person's already dead, right? Like
Yeah, 100%. It's a piece of their body.
Exactly. So you go into this movie, you're like, all right, cool, detective, he's gonna track down the killer and they're gonna have a showdown. Cool. This movie, the killer was like 3 steps ahead the entire movie.
Yeah.
The entire movie. And I guess that's regular Saw fashion. They're just really, smart.
Next time we watch a movie like this, I think we need to watch it like right at the beginning, and about 10 minutes in, we write down what we think's going to happen, and see if we can figure out what the end of the movie is within 10 minutes.
I did that in my head.
I did too.
Right? Okay. We're okay. Without spoiling, because we haven't talked about this. Were you right?
Yes.
Same. Yes. Literally.
I was thrown off a little bit.
Dude, I was like, okay, different.
I was thrown off a little bit.
Maybe not.
But at the end, it did turn out the way I thought it was going to turn out.
You're like, this mother.
Yeah.
No, I actually know how the hell you did it, bro. So
yeah. So yeah, I think, talking about the writing again, I don't feel like it escalated the situation very well.
Yeah.
Literally every trap, the person was led into that trap exactly the same way.
Yep.
That was kind of it was just a circle of victim to trap to next victim to trap, exactly the same way every time. You would think that the story would escalate a little bit, as in, oh man, we got 2 or 3 victims. Everybody needs to stay back to back. We need to stay shoulder to shoulder. We need to do all this stuff. But it's like 5 victims in, and then they decide to do that.
Let's work in pairs, guys. No.
Everybody stays with your partner, or we're 4 deep now, 2 cars.
I mean, anytime we went on a field trip, right, it was like the buddy system.
Yeah.
Right? You stay with your buddy. If you're at the aquarium, don't get lost.
Yeah, that kind of irked me about it. It was just, like I said, it was like, I know it's a movie. I know it's a script, but it's like, think about it a little bit. If it was me, I would never go anywhere by myself, especially if I'm a cop, period.
Oh, hell yeah. Never. Pass. Those cops, those cops are like first on the scene and they hear like gunshots or whatever. And they're like, all right, nobody else is here. SWAT's 10 seconds out. I gotta go in. Bro, me, I'm like, all right, 10 seconds, bet. Let's do this thing. Oh, SWAT's 20 minutes out? I can wait. I'm gonna go over here and get a coffee. Like, why would you go in there yourself, bro?
I think, that was the biggest thing for me on the story part of it. From the beginning to end, as far as the plot, I mean, it played out the way the other movies play out.
Yeah.
Right.
Saw that. Let's talk about favorite scenes, which is one of my favorite segments of our pod.
Right.
What was your favorite scene in this movie, if you can recall one?
I don't know if I'd call it my favorite scene.
Okay.
But I can tell you the most impressive and messed up scene
that
I saw in the movie. The electric finger trap.
Boogie, woogie, woogie.
I think for me, that was the most gored of all the ones that were in there.
Yeah, that was gross.
I mean, the tongue one was gross as well, but this one really like got in there and showed you what was happening.
Oh, and just like wide lens, super zoom, the entire time.
Yeah, all of it, everything that they could think of.
Like we're watching a documentary on this, and I'm like,
that for me, that was the grossest, and I would say that was my favorite scene.
Gotcha.
Even though it was just nasty.
Well, I hated all of the trap scenes. Every single one. There's not a single one I liked. Sorry.
Well, that's why I said it's hard to say it was a favorite scene. It was more of a impressed by it
I was
situation.
just grossed by every single one. Just grossed out. No, man. The only thing, the only saving grace for this movie is Chris Rock, and I like when he gets Shank and they're assigned to work together, and they're walking on. They park the car. They're walking through the subway to the first murder.
Mm-hmm.
Banks is explaining the difficulty of having a family and being a cop, which is once again tried and true and has been done in every single movie about cops. But Chris Rock delivers it in a way that only Chris Rock can. Right? It's he's doing the walk and talk, and they're going to the scene, and he's talking about how his wife is probably cheating on him, right? How women cheat during the day, right? And how she's probably she says she's at Pilates, but Pilates is code for something else, right? Like, and just the way that he delivers that is like funny, and it kind of brings you into the character a little bit more. And Chris Rock, man, he's just one of my favorite comics of all time, and just to see him do more movies is something I want to see. This scene was it for me for this movie.
Yeah, another good one was we brought it up earlier, the very beginning where he's just talking about Forrest Gump and Jenny. I think that was by far the funniest part of the movie.
Yeah, that was. And then he's like undercover at that point in time, and then gets caught. He's like, shit. All right, JV, Spiral. How many buckets of popcorn do you give this?
I'm gonna give this one a 3 out of 5.
Nice.
Kind of the middle of the road for me. Like we talked about, as far as characters and the story, these movies are meant to be gross, right?
Yes.
I don't think there's no getting around that fact that they're meant to be gross. They're meant to make you think, which this one made you think as well. But as far as kind of the story of it, like we were saying, if you took out all the gore, if it was just like, okay, this is the victim, now he's dead. This is the victim, now he's dead. If you didn't have the traps in there, this whole thing, other than those few scenes that Chris Rock laid out some stories on that we laughed at, it wouldn't be nothing of a movie, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, it doesn't really elevate the genre much,
right?
In that regard. Good deal.
What about you, man?
I was torn, man, between 2 buckets of popcorn and 3 buckets of popcorn, and I'm gonna say it's 2 buckets of popcorn for me, and those 2 buckets is because Chris Rock. Literally, like I've been saying this entire pod, he is the saving grace of this movie. He's front and center. He's on the movie poster. This is his movie, and his struggle that he's going through while trying to catch this killer. I thought it was going to elevate the genre to be more in line with a cop procedural, but they basically rehashed and took a little bit of all the other Saw movies and kind of chopped it up into this movie, right? It worked. It was definitely a watchable movie. Once again, the traps were disgusting, which I never want to see ever again in my life.
Well,
but
I think that depends on if you're into that movie or not.
Exactly, right?
As well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a big thing I was taking into account too. I don't watch the Saw movies regularly. We saw this one time in the theater. No pause, no rewind.
Yeah.
So I kind of took that into account with mine a little bit. That sometimes we got to watch a movie once or twice to see all the good and all the bad.
I'm good.
This was one,
this is it.
And I'm done. I'm out.
This is it. But you know what? On
I'm
that,
not saying I'm gonna watch it again. I'm just explaining myself.
But in that same notion, though, I want to see, and spoiler ahead, the killer lives. The killer survives and makes his way. I want to see Zeke's character go after the killer in sequels. That would be fun to watch, and try to, knowing who the killer is now and everything, just trying to stop the killer and seeing this more of this spiral universe unravel, I think that would be really cool. So I would be in the theater for that if they punch up the writing and make it more of a cat and mouse game.
Well, it needs to escalate.
Yes.
And it needs to escalate. It needs to morph to the situation. You want to put off that, all these people are being killed, but nobody's senses are heightened through this whole movie.
Agreed.
It's just like, okay, that guy's dead. You brushed off her shoulder. We're going to go on with a normal day. This person's dead. We're going to brush it off, move on.
Yep. So, that's how it dropped, sir.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Thank you for subscribing to this week's episode, talking through Spiral. Next week, we will be talking about What Women Want.
And that's streaming on Netflix.
I am Clyde Smith. You can find me on Twitter as I am Clyde D. Smith.
I'm Javier Villalobos, and you can find me on Twitter at Mr. J8200.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.